I traumatized a kid by locking him in a room with me and acting possessed. This happened like 6 months ago. I was 17 and he was probably 9 or 10. I was at my uncle's house, who was hosting a party for his friends. Because I didn't really know anyone, I was talking to that boy because he was alone too and I was bored as hell. As we were talking, I realized that this kid was so obnoxious and privileged. He was boasting to me about having a better phone than me and having a huge room in his house. He also made a snarky remark about my dress being super ugly and that I would cause boys to run the other way if they saw me. I know he was joking saying that, but sometimes jokes just piss you off when they come from an entitled kid. Soon the conversation went about horror movies and getting possessed. That's when I had the genius idea of saying the conversation would be more fun in a dark room. He excitedly agreed too, so I took him to the room I was sleeping in at my uncle's house. That's when I locked the dark room with us in it and started acting possessed. I turned the flash on my phone on and started making all these horrific sounds to get him scared. It definitely worked because he got really scared and crying. That's when I cut it short because I didn't want his parents hearing him and getting mad at me. But I'm NGL. Seeing an entitled kid cry felt so good in the moment. In my defense, I did console him after and hugged him until he stopped crying and felt better, and I apologized. But we didn't talk for the rest of the day. I do feel bad now because that kid was only 10 and was immature. I certainly wasn't the best 10-year-old either. Sometimes I wonder if he still remembers me as the possessed girl who scared him. This sounds like something my older sister would have done to me when I was 10. But she wouldn't have stopped because I was crying. Bro, it's just a prank. The prank. Why I found this funny tears of joy. Studies show that kids who brag about materialistic things are more insecure than others. Okay, like it's a little funny I guess, but TBH, my older sister did something similar to me as a joke when I was 10, and I swear that memory is engraved in my brain and I'll never forget it. I still can't really be in the dark. So like, yeah, maybe don't do that again, TBH. Kids process scary memories differently than adults and teenagers. Scaring him won't make the kid feel less entitled. Worse, he will still feel entitled and traumatized. What is that quote about? Leaving people better than when we found them? This is one way to strive to be good every day and to add value to people we meet and not less than. The takeaways from your confession are that you acknowledge that what you did wasn't right, and not because someone annoys or hurts us that we would do things to retaliate, annoy or hurt them too. Everyone's gotta learn how not to be a brat sometime. The earlier the better. Someone needs to grow the fuck up, and it ain't the little kid that hurt your little feelings. My sister did something similar. I was terrified of my closet and she locked me in the closet for what felt like hours. I was also like 6-7, yo. Keep in mind that you are also a child. Children do stupid things. This sounds like the terrible shit I did to my sister when she was young. 100 thought it was funny at the time. In adulthood 0, I was 100 a raging bee. It really isn't your job to teach anyone a lesson, especially a little kid. Imagine 17 and acting like a 10-year-old. Yes, he's probably traumatized. Congratulations, you're also a brat. Jesus Christ. You traumatized a 9 or 10-year-old because they were boasting about having a better phone and bigger room than you? What the fuck is wrong with you? This is awesome. Keep doing this. A 10-year-old unfortunately possesses the inability to be somewhat mature. This is borderline sick. I hope you come to realize one day you don't need be trying to discipline other people's children when you're only 17. You're pretty dumb NGL. You started up a conversation with a kid and then got childlike feelings hurt, so you mocked a demonic possession. RRRR, right. Get help. When you don't like what a 9-year-old is telling you, just walk away. Nobody forced you to listen to him boasting about his big room, etc. You don't need to torture and traumatize him then. He's just a kid, whereas you are an older teenager. Honestly, this is exactly what I would expect to happen when adults are busy partying and a bored teenager is hanging out with a 10 years old. Lol. Sounds like the shit my sister used to do to me. Skull. Lol. So you're an insecure bully? Got it. That kid will never forget what you done to them. At 9-10 they always brag about what they have. Had that been a child or grandchild of mine, I'd have kicked your ass hard and shut you in a hole for a week. Be a better human. At 10. It wasn't him being immature. He's 10. I think you know all this, right? I say this on all the posts. The mistakes you make matter and last a lifetime. Some are big, some small. Be good. This is frankly indefensible. Kids are kids. They try to act cool to people older than them. Then again, you are also a kid. You were a bully to someone smaller than you and you did it to feel powerful. You should feel bad. Not in a shame on you kind of way, but in a, yeah, you did a bad thing and you should feel bad about doing a bad thing. Hopefully you'll grow from this and not use your position of being bigger to exert power over someone littler than you. Sincerely, a teacher. I grew up as the black sheep in a super religious household. I used to do this all the time to my sisters and my cousins. Wouldn't stop when they started getting scared. I once told my cousin Frankenstein's monster roams the lobby at night. When his family began to leave after dinner, he was paranoid AF, like repeatedly pressing elevator buttons, telling parents to hurry. So you literally stopped to the level of a 10-year-old? Yeesh. Sounds like you still have a lot of growing up to do yourself. What? That's so horrible. Do it again. OMG, that's horrible. Do it again. Sometimes jokes just piss you off when they come from an entitled kid. Felt. I mean, this is just fucking with a child because their parents aren't raising them right. I'd just tell the kid people are gonna hate him if he acts like that. If he continues, just treat him like an annoying kid. Ignore him completely and act repulsed by his presence. Treat him like a dweeb. Not give him trauma rolling on the floor laughing. But I'm a 24-year-old parent of a 6-year-old, so I could see myself having a very different opinion. At 17, I did this to my brother and only stopped when he started crying. Tried pacifying him. Didn't work. He was too scared. Tears of joy. Sounds like something my brother would have done. I'm surprised he actually never did that. Instead, he knew I was very ticklish. So he would chase me down every day and tickle me while I screamed and cried for him to stop. No one helped. They all just joined in. This is hilarious. People that disagree are boring losers with no humor. Ha 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 ha, good job. Woof, woof. How fragile do white people have to be to get traumatized by this? What's the point of the subreddit if y'all going to act like judgmental asshats every time someone confess? Like lol. You sound like a court. This place has become so awesome, way better than it was years ago. Love this kind of content. Why are people so unhappy about this? This shit funny ASF. Like what some Redditors below commented. I hope I never grow up to the point where I think this shit isn't funny as fuck. That's just sad. You needed to humble him. I locked my little sister in a room whilst playing What's He Building in their full volume. She flipped. Lol. I was 16 at the time. Young people do stuff like this, don't worry about it.